guys, and welcome back to Slowly Swapping Slots. Today we are going to be showing you how to build a sand, red sand, concrete powder and gravel duplicator. And it's also an AFK farm for Obsidian. And let's get into it.
So I'm here at the stronghold in my survival world, and I've actually copied a part of my main survival world into a new world for this video, and to include it as the world download in the description below, so you can download that to your computer and load this world and see exactly how this is built and how everything's set up, so that you guys can replicate this yourselves. I'm going to go through a lot of it in the video today, but it always helps me personally to download people's worlds and have a look myself. I've also included the Lightmatica schematics for any of the builds in today's video in the description below, and you can find my how to use Lightmatica video link down there as well. So you can see the duplicator machine working here, and the most important thing to note is that we have removed the end portal frame blocks. And I brought out a video earlier in the week that shows you how to do that. It's a pretty quick video, I think it's only about 3 minutes long. So I'll add a card to the video here in the top left, and I'll also add a link in the description below, and you can go and find out how to do that. It's super easy, just need some mushrooms, podzol and bone meal, and you can get rid of those blocks. So the way the overworld side of this machine works, and we'll get to the end side shortly, is that it takes the gravity blocks and these contraptions on both sides of or on all sides of the portal, bounce the gravity blocks towards the edge of the portal, and the game thinks that the blocks have actually gone through the portal and creates new versions of them on the other side. But on this side they fall down onto these slime blocks and then move back and get bounced over towards the portal again. So let's head on through to the end and see what happens over there. So you can see the sand and gravel and the other blocks shooting out of the portal and flying out to each side of the platform because they maintain their momentum when they come through. And you can see Cap over there mining away at the obsidian, because this operates as an AFK obsidian farm too. The neat thing about these portals is that the obsidian platform regenerates every time the blocks come through the portal. So you can stand there using an auto clicker or something and just mine away and gather up all the obsidian as well. So what we've done is put a case 2 beacon here, so that we definitely break the obsidian block before the platform regenerates, so that we're always getting a broken block. And if we use a netherite pickaxe with efficiency 5 and unbreaking 3, we can mine for approximately 4 hours before that pickaxe breaks. It actually takes 8 broken obsidian blocks before 1 point of durability is taken off the axe, and that works out as about 4 hours of mining, in which time, and I'm hoping my maths isn't wrong, I worked out you can get around 16,000 obsidian blocks using this, and I haven't even tried to calculate how many of the gravity blocks you'll get in those 4 hours. So the obsidian falls down along with the gravity blocks into the item collection streams down below and flows across and up the bubble elevator. The items get realigned against these honey blocks, which aren't quite a full block, so when the items line up against them, they're across both the ice and the hoppers, so they keep sliding down the ice but also get sucked into the hoppers. All my chests here are full and the hoppers are full, that's why the items are piling up here. But you can put whatever collection mechanism you want over here. You could add shulker box loaders or something like that. I've just put in 4 item filters. I'm not going to do a block by block tutorial in this video because that would take a while, and it's a relatively simple mechanism. I'll talk you through how to build one side of it, and then you can repeat that across the other sides. So there's a repeating redstone signal that is generated here. So the redstone signal essentially starts on this block, it goes through these repeaters on 1 tick, 4 ticks, 4 ticks, and into this concrete block. And it also triggers the dropper down below the concrete block, which is observed by these observers, which all observe one after the other and circle back to the start on this concrete block. So to turn off the whole machine, you can just flick this lever, which will provide constant power to this concrete block, and will keep this whole line powered, and which then gets passed all the way around the circle. So it's only on this first, the side with the lever on it, that you need a dropper in this position, because on this side we need something that the observers will recognize and circle the signal background. So the redstone signal goes into this concrete block and triggers the trapdoor here. The trapdoor, you'll notice, has the hinge pointing towards the inside, and that's important because if you put it in any other position, the broken items will land on top of the trapdoor and won't get tossed off. Then the redstone signal gets picked up by this repeater on 4 ticks and gets passed through the next block and gets diverted upwards and goes up into this concrete block, which powers the other trapdoor. And the timing of this 4 tick repeater means that these trapdoors open and close alternately, and that's important because we need the gravity blocks to hit these trapdoors and turn into collectible items. Usually when the blocks come through, they just start piling up against each side of the end platform, and you end up with a great big pile of sand or gravel. So this way the items get broken. I must have spent a few months tweaking this design and getting it where it is, but I think ultimate credit has to go to Raceworks or Ilmango, where I first saw a design like this. So I won't take credit for this. This is all theirs with some of my tweaks. And if you're wanting to rebuild, you'll note that the block just below the platform has no buttons or trapdoors on it. The one below that has a button, then a trapdoor, then a button, then a trapdoor, then an empty block where we put the start of our water stream. And then the water pushes it towards the center of the platform, where there's an iron chain which stops the water but allows the items to fall down into another water collector down below, and that goes over to the bubble elevator. So the same design for the trapdoor opening and closing mechanism is built on all 4 sides, except we don't need this dropper on the other sides. Over here you'll see it's just a concrete block, and that's about it for building this. So now you've seen one side, you guys now know how to build all 4 sides. So as I said, you could add any collection mechanism you want. I'll probably replace this with a shulker box loader, because chances are I'll only be duplicating one type of item at a time. So if I'm short on sand, I'll probably make this duplicate sand on all 4 sides, so I'll just have one item coming out then. So a shulker box loader would probably be perfect for that. So Cap, shall we head back to the overworld?
Yep.
We'll talk about the machine on that side.
Yep.
And so for any of you guys who use the world download, I've added this command block for you, just to make it easier to get back to the stronghold. Means you don't need to go through the main exit portal up there. So just hit the button, you'll end up back here at the stronghold. And here we are at the overworld machine again. So again, I won't do a full block by block tutorial here, but let's walk through how each edge operates so that you guys can rebuild this. So what we've got is, this is essentially the main central signal block. So this block gets powered with a repeating pulse, and we'll get to how that's generated shortly. So first thing it does is it sends the signal upwards through this block, through this repeater on 2 ticks, and into this block, and we need to have this redstone as the cross type and not the dot type. If it's the dot, it'll only power the middle piston, but if it's the cross going into this block on top, then all 3 pistons get powered. So these ones pick up the gravity block, then the same signal that goes up the way powers this sticky piston, which has the slime blocks connected, and they bounce the sand as it's falling from the sticky pistons at the top. And then the same signal from this central block comes out this redstone torch, powers the dust down below and runs underneath into this 4-tick repeater, and it powers along here right up to the edge of the portal and powers this sticky piston with these slime blocks, and those slime blocks are where the sand lands and gets moved back towards the ones to pick it up again. So the signal that goes over to this piston also goes up the way and goes back into the central block, which creates this pulsing signal. So it comes out the back, runs underneath, and goes in this little loop which keeps pulsing round and round. So the repeater that goes back into the central block is only in 1 tick. Each side is built exactly the same, so you'll notice there's a redstone line that runs all the way around connecting each side, and that's to turn the machine on and off. So if we give this central block constant power, then the whole thing will stop processing. This whole thing will be, these redstone torches will turn off and we'll stop getting this pulse. And we do that by powering the corner here. And by powering the corner, we end up with a redstone signal that goes all the way around between each one and keeps this central block constantly powered, which turns off everything. And you'll notice that when you turn it off most of the time, you end up with your gravity blocks falling onto the ground. So I haven't done it here because I dug out the stones so that we could see the machine. But over on the other sides, I usually put an extra redstone piece underneath where the gravity blocks will fall, so that it makes it easy to pick them up and reset the machine before I go away. So the last thing I think we need to cover is how do we keep this machine running even when we go to the end? Because usually when we leave the overworld, the game unloads the chunks so that it doesn't take up unnecessary computer resources while we're playing. So the secret to that is our chunk loader. So over here, tucked in the room behind the portal, we have a chunk loader, which still has a minecart sitting in it. So this is our basic chunk loader that we've built in numerous other videos. The way it works is this etho hopper clock powers that dispenser occasionally, or at least once every 15 seconds, which sends a minecart into the nether. Then in the nether it gets broken and sent back. So as long as an item's moving in and out of, moving between the nether and overworld, once every 15 seconds it'll keep the chunks on both sides loaded. So by keeping the overworld chunks loaded, it means that the machine keeps operating. So here's the nether side. Again, I'll put a link in the description to our full chunk loader tutorial, where we go into a lot of detail on how this works and how to build it, and the schematics for this chunk loader for Lightmatica are, if you go to the chunk loader video, you can download those schematics and a world download with a few different versions of this thing. So let's go back to the overworld. And we can turn this off using this lever, and that'll turn off the etho hopper clock, which in turn will stop this dispenser being triggered. So again, you probably want to turn this off when you're not using the machine to stop the game loading chunks unnecessarily. Okay everyone, that's how you make the gravity block duplicator. Thanks for watching, I hope you found this useful. Again, the world download is in the description, along with the schematics and links to the chunk loader and portal frame breaking videos. I've got a Wither Star farm coming up, which I'm just finalising the design of.
And please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Bye!